Hey, it's ObamasWeapon.com, dude. I'm thoroughly brainwashed. The words that I use, words that they put in my brain. They've restricted vocabulary. They've created pressure in my brain. They've wiped memories. Everything I experience 24/7 is something they put there. I don't live my life at all. I hardly can entertain myself or sit there while they're torturing and beating my fucking ass. The military and military mind control, they designed a fucking weapon to be able to do it so effectively that a person would be fully engulfed and controlled. And it uses radiation and remote tampering technologies to get into a person's brain and body and world directly. And they tailor each fucking program because it's based on your own life, your own brain waves, your own memories, and your own signals. So they mix in with the signals of your brain. I'm truly mostly brainwashed. I'm always trying to regain my brain. None of my old brains can come back, though. I know that now. I know that the way the world feels, the way I think about everything, I don't even get a focus on the world. I can't even sense the fucking world. And I'll be sitting here. I should have, most people are in complete control of their brains. I'm not. My brain, another word, stuff that's going on in my fucking brain, stuff they're putting there. Okay? And then it's not as if I'm driven to only say and do the things that I want anymore. It's not my interest. It's their interest. It's the interest of having no power. And it's kind of like a root system. It ain't my brain root system's gone, dude. I should have a strong foothold in all reality, everything in my environment in the world. I'm supposed to have a connection to and be controlling and interacting with on my own. Nope. None of that stuff's there. There's nothing there to even tell me what I should feel about something anymore or what I should do. That's been completely removed. They wanted to even make it so I couldn't feel emotions about things. Okay, so I couldn't be angry. So that I couldn't have the right emotional expression or response to something when it came up. And I'm actually saying I'm mostly just dead and numbed and fucked up. But and then also I don't have the correct, emotional response that I should have that I had before. See, I used to be really like, it's really important because all your responses and expressions and emotions, well, that's all like a compass and how you're interacting with the world, and whether you laugh or you don't laugh, and whether you cry or you can't cry, or whether I can't even cry anymore. I used to cry a lot. I was so fucking sad. These fucking losers fucking wanted that erased from me. The worst thing is trying to describe these differences, this brainwashed shit, and how I live it, and I don't even have memory of the last 20 seconds. Because they didn't want me to have memory of the last 20 seconds. At least not a very reliable one to where it was, I should remember everything I did in the last year. God damn, they don't want me to have access to that. So it's very erratic. I'm really trying hard to remember this shit. They wanted to fill it with trauma and shit that would keep me all fucking like, oh, well, there's so much fucking can't remember shit. Then also, my brain doesn't store its memories because, I don't dream at night and they're fucking with my brain in my sleep and beating it in and shit. They found that sleep is really important for storing memories. Well, they fucked that up there. They took control over what my brain would be doing, including if it's going to store memories and if it was going to be like healing properly from injuries and damage, okay? So they got a weapon that literally wants to dominate me like a fucking banshee bitch. And they have a computer program where they've programmed it so that the experience, the stuff going on in my head is like a banshee bitch of evil fucking psychic warfare fucking shit. Okay? And on the other side of this, there's a team of adult people. These are adults who are citizens of America who work for whatever government agency who are psychotic fucking nimrods who actually think this is okay. And that the things that they're putting into the program, because they have to sometimes make some of these things, it's projection from their mind into my mind, or their computer script bullshit into my fucking brain. They're picking this shit. They are fucking losers who need executed. There's no sense in having these fucking losers alive. They shouldn't be alive. They don't deserve shit. And for their minds to be the state they are fucking losers who don't give a fuck about society. They're so dangerous. They're serial rapists and murderers. They've actually raped and murdered people, okay? And it's on a serial level that's beyond even like what a normal serial rapist or murderer can do. Because most serial rapists and murderers can only hurt so many fucking people. Okay, but they have the power to hurt so many in a programmatically done fashion across the whole fucking globe. Okay? And that's what they're trained in doing. They're the most evil fuckers you're going to come across in our fucking society. They're above anyone inside of a penitentiary right now. They're a fucking organized group. See, that's what this is. This is an organized criminal faction in our fucking government. And it's millions strong. And they have fucking people everywhere. And they're trained to get the best outcome through violence and domination, okay? And murder and rape and shit. They're in our society doing this shit. And it goes as high as our president. Okay, they're benefiting from this crap, and our fucking governors and our pussy congressmen and senators. Try to envision, I mean, you could do a lot more serious crime if you could organize and stay together, right, in the government and have access to all the military weapons to do it, right? Yeah, you could. And everyone knows that, because in other countries, it's usually the government and the military who has the worst fucking weapons, right? Well, it's the same here in America. All the technology and all the weapons, they're running, it's crazy that we don't have any restriction on this. Because we're also like really hypocritical, because we think other countries doing this we gotta go and bomb them, right? Well, here we are doing it. We're all the same way. Now, what I really think is that we should let these other countries annihilate us, because it's their competition. United States competition is these other countries. And if they don't fucking come and bomb our asses, we just keep getting stronger and more violent and shit. And there's nothing there to gut us of our violence inside of our government. The only competition for this level of organized crime is other governments who want to bomb us, okay? And come in and fucking remove this shit. Well, there's been decades of this, hundreds of thousands of victims. It's nonstop. It's routine for them. It's nothing to them. There's been many others. And in the past, they pretend it was an experiment or some program. It was actually not likely an experiment. They were just using their weapons out on us, man. There were people that they wanted to get to and do in, and they were doing it. Because if you look at all the popular literature and crap, it's always brings up something about experiments and human experimentation. That's all a load of shit. The more you look at the programs yourself, most people don't even know what they're looking at. I'm assuming these news reporters are stupid asses who didn't look at the documents and do any research hardly on their own. They're just using terms that are simple because they're too stupid to understand. They analyze some of the old records and they see there was something else going on. So they just report, sure, it's based in reality. We have a long history of, this and that. They're so stupid ass, okay? Because I see something different. I see live operations being ran on Americans going back for a long time, Danger. You have teams of fucking military fucking officers and police hurting innocent people all over the country. Okay? On the streets, doing whole, operational towns, doing tests on, they're really fucking with people too. There's paranormal weapons, the house hauntings, the fucking hurting people in homes with directed energy. It's been going on for fucking decades and decades. Fucking people whose plane mysteriously crashes, it was a fucking directed energy thing. People whose cars fucking crashed, went off the side of the road thing, that was directed energy. That's the type of danger out there that's been going on all these years. And you don't have a way to tell the difference. But once you get deep into researching it, you find out the danger was so fucking real and it was going on. And that there is all this cover-up that went on every time it went on. Every fucking time. And our government, they actually were going in knowing it happened. And then covering it up something else every time. That's what they did. They're paid to do that. They're paid to fucking cover it up as something else. Just cook the books, write something else down don't conduct a full forensic investigation. And don't consider all the possibilities of what's going on, That's one of the number one ways. They just don't consider the more advanced capabilities of our fucking government. Their own government was doing this shit. That's how they cover it up. So in the books, it doesn't fucking show what was really going on. And you can't find these cases very easily. You have to just look at Paul Wellstone, man. There's already stuff about him. That's a good case to look at. He's playing in the Bermuda Triangle is another area where there's Puerto Rican radar field. They're knocking planes out. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, and yeah, unfortunately, everything that does get made is for, you see some people make documentaries sometime, and it's usually on TV or something about this shit, like HAARP and unsealed this and that documents on HAARP and bullshit, and it's all for entertainment. And they, but they will talk about, the tornadoes, look at this, tornadoes and weather fucking shit, and mind control, and blah, blah. And, they can only get the money to make those shows for entertainment, and it's never good enough. It's never complete, where's the news documentary on this shit? The non-stop exhaustive research that gets done to expose the United States, for example. See, that's what needs to happen. It needs to be a non-stop expose on the government. The United States doing this, but that's never been done. Okay, they just keep it, those little nibbles and blurbs, and the whistleblowers sit there, everyone's drained of resources and keep it from being done. It's already exposed, the patents are there, the fucking whistleblowers are victims. It's all over, the media's out there, the stories. It ain't fucking hard to track it down. Congressmen have been informed, we're given, just sit around dealing with it, living in this shit world with our shit government murdering and serial raping people and torturing serial style, just their own citizens, just fucking people up. God damn. Decades of this shit. It's always been there. So anytime you see a government program that shows, you should be concerned about the serious crime that they even hid this shit. Sometimes they declassify this. They release a cover story or some information on it, and it's fucking like, God, you should be so angry that these fuckers were able to hold on to the secrets for so long and keep it from everybody. Because that's what fucking goes on. Is they're just keeping it a fucking secret like a bunch of pussy ass ghetto fucks who don't believe in our fucking Constitution, dude. They don't believe that people have a right to know in order to be informed and to make intelligent decisions in life about this shit world and shit government. They want you in the dark on everything they've ever fucking done, no matter how bad it is. And the worse they do it, the more they want to keep it a secret, okay? The more classified it's going to be. And they only want you, they release information to the public to misinform too. So they'll release this information as a cover story or to paint a rosy picture that's just got enough information to act like they ain't doing something super bad. You know? They're hiding the super bad shit. Or they release a punk little bullshit stories and unsealing some stuff about this and that. But anyway, in my opinion, some of these still show the dangerousness of what they're doing. Like all the UFO sightings were their own fucking goddamn testing ships and shit. At least most of the fucking UFO sightings were the CIA's fucking own fucking operations, dude. And that's just part of it, okay? That's when they're testing their fucking aircraft and shit. But there's other shit that was going on. And they can't just keep it secret for decades. Boom. Let's set all those people who think they saw something up to look mentally ill, you know? And there's stuff going on where they use directed energy in the sky. They're creating like holographic crap. That stuff has all been they do that with like satellites and radar. They're doing that. And they'll be messing with the atmosphere and the clouds and doing stuff. And they haven't... that type of shit, and they're using that same energy though on people too. It's about being able to wage entire wars with directed energy and invisible and like holograms and shit. They got the technology there to do it, and it's really cool because it's like an automated directed energy turret. You just shoot people dead, or like I talked about in one of my last videos where just dustify entire town automatically, you know, just starts, boom, energy's coming in, everything's turning to dust and breaking apart. They got lasers that do this too. They have lasers that can turn diamond into dust, okay? And any material can be turned to dust. So what they're doing is just turning shit to dust, and they deployed the lasers, they deployed the interferometers that do this, to just direct high frequency mega doses of radiation and, you know, just wherever they want to put it to do this, to mess with people's brains, to mess with people's stuff. Fucking bullshit. I'm living here being tortured when all this information is out there, and I've already put it out there, and no one's done shit to help. They know the government's doing this. They know they're doing it. All the police I've ever talked to, every town I go to, they're keeping control over me. They come here and they set it up that they got everyone involved. Every town, I'm the main target in the towns I go to. And I don't know about the other people out there who claim they're being targeted, man. But when they latch on to a person, this is really what they do. And they will, in the major universities and hospitals are all involved. That's the thing about this shit. So wherever you go, the major hospitals and universities won't help you. So if you go to these hospitals, you're going to get boned by the doctors. And they're going to set you up. Deny medical care. And then there's doctors' associations. And these stupid doctors are just, it appears as if they're just abusing you or discriminating against you. everywhere. And you find out, oh, goddamn, the doctor who I was just dealing with was working at this hospital. Oh my God. And they all at this hospital were participating. Fuck. And then you find out that all these doctors are fucking linked together. Damn. I just found that out, dude. They're all linked together. Stupid fucking fags. So I feel like I'm living in a world, and they understand. I don't even want to go into all the details. I've been abused so good. I have the constitutional right, to medical care. It's part of the due process. It's part of your right to life and liberty and stuff. I don't really know the specific rules on the constitutional rights. But I do know that, you have a right to timely medical care, to get treatment without delay that's appropriate and all that type of shit. And that the major hospitals have to give it to you. And that also, if you have doctors who are deliberately getting together to refuse you medical care, that becomes, like they're impeding your right to medical care. And that's a civil rights violation. So if I'm getting hurt and I have serious brain injury, and they did this for so long, they just made me live with it until it got worse and worse and went untreated. They were doing this to help the government, basically, to kill me. Okay? It was to kill me. And yeah, it's real. They did it to kill me. They want, the government would oftentimes have these doctors who, especially for like county or fucking local hospitals, who they would go to, and these doctors would work against me. They're not, most doctors are not just, you think that they're not like the average day person you find on the streets where they're just independent, okay, and you can go and talk to them and work with them on that level. That's not the way they are. They're all fucking friends, and they're doing stuff, they've been doing stuff their whole fucking lives for the government and shit like that. So I had a very hard time getting away from that type of shit. And it seemed to be so effortless, I guess, where the government goes to them to get them to do whatever they want them to do. And it put me in a situation being in extreme danger where the doctor would literally lie and even abuse me and refuse to do tests, or even would be willing to do something more, like even like participate some type of scheme against me, or using direct energy on me or something. And they have unions too. Medical unions across the borders, and university deals and stuff where they're all accepting money, and they're collaborating on research and crap, and they're taking money from DARPA and the CIA, and they've been doing it for decades and decades. UCLA, fucking OSHU in Oregon, they got money from DARPA and the CIA, dude. The top psychiatrists in that fucking state are all fucking like linked to the fucking military. Just like all you're going to have to find out, APA is really corrupt too. You start to realize that everywhere you go, there's shit going on, and you're just born into the world, okay? And then they did this to you, okay? That's the way it goes. You can't even fathom, you don't even fathom why they had this money to do this, and why they were doing this shit, and why they weren't there to just help people. And they were there to control the public for the government and do experiments on them and fucking like develop technology or whatever else they did in the backside that no one even knows. But psychiatrists, man, you can come under some danger, man, and they will. It doesn't matter who it is. Psychiatrists, very dangerous. But state employees, even more dangerous. And these unions are dangerous, and they will come at you just like a movie where you see a person who's suddenly the plot of all this violence from these groups of people. And the level of organization. And read some of the stories on the old unions. I like to do that. Go back to the 80s, and when there's the law passed because unions were so violent, and they were literally having rowdy fucking things where they would go and say, well, we're gonna not go to work until you cave to our demands. And basic, like I think this happening in Texas. I haven't read this in a while. There's some oil company, China Oil. I don't even know. Some. So anyway, but it's really a popular case, and there's a law that was passed because these violent unions, I think, to make them more easy to sue or something, like them responsible for their shit. And so the unions, while they run the whole town basically. The judge is on their side, the local police force is on their fucking side. And what was going on was they're doing their thing where they are picketing, and they're not going back to work and shit. So people didn't want to be a part of that, the bigger violent mob that was there. And they're going around town, they're shooting people, they're doing crap. And one person, for example, tries to cross the line, go say, I just want to go back to work. They don't want to be part of that mob mentality and the super violent mob mentality that these unions all got. They have some skills, dude. They are very violent. The biggest of them, like the Oregon State Hospital, they got that, the male fucking side, especially the males. I don't know about the females, but they're there too. And they just act like they got a lot of power back at them. Power to murder someone, to hang them and get away with it type shit. And so this person tries to go back to work, and then, they go and target him, they shoot up his fucking house, they shoot him, fucking like bullets everywhere, and his wife is, trying to take care of him, and they go and try to, so that's the type of stuff that's going on all over town, dude. And they were coming out, harassing him. They'd show up in a car, and light something on fire, and just start doing crazy shit. See, they're crazy ass fucking good old boys, dude. Just like all the old stories are still like that today. And anyway, so a lot of crap was going on, and the police aren't doing shit. And they try to sue, and it's going on all over town. And it's a huge fucking thousands of people involved in this. And the judge wasn't protecting it, so lawsuit dismissed or whatever dismissed, charges dropped, And they had to go out of the area eventually and to get the lawsuit going. They sue for millions, bankrupt the whole fucking union. And now the atmosphere though was that, you would get murdered for going against the union, okay? And, some laws and reforms were passed to try to make it so that could be dealt with when that type of stuff was going on. But there's lots of stories like that. There's lots of really corrupt people. Remember, all the criminals in the world, if they're not like in a prison, they're out in the streets and they're working for someone or something. So people are very criminal, and they murder people. They rape them. They fucking do conspiracies. They are manipulative of the government and politics, and they're very powerful and entrenched. They control things from the unions of the state of Oregon. They control the whole fucking government. They're everywhere, and they don't want to be exposed for crime and stuff and they got crime that goes on. And they'll have, if you step out as an employee, you will get fired, retaliated against. You'll get, even if, like, let's say you're a teacher and there's two different unions at the state. There's more than one union at the state hospital. There are teachers, and then there's fucking their union, and there's the state employees with their fucking union, and there's the doctors and people with the fucking managers, different people with their fucking union, and they're the whole statewide, they're all, doing stuff. And then anyway, my teacher though, she's getting targeted for saying anything good about me while this was all going on. They go and they dent her car, they fuck it up, and they refuse to go and investigate it. The police were involved, the fucking security members at the hospital. They're watching her get heckled and fucking shit. The way that goes on, what they like to do like a bunch of psychological games and shit. Well, that was enough to get her to fucking go to their side really fast and never to do nothing, step out of line again. And then she becomes a spy for them. Well, that's the way that goes, man. Very violent situations. And then, well, they were able to do whatever they wanted after to the victims they were targeting, whether it was probably the patients mostly, because the staff would usually go along with their fucking shit every time.